Hi everyone, author Amy Ray here. Tonight I'm going to read a selection of my poems from my latest poetry book entitled An Emotional Girl Poems. It came out last December, so I hadn't really written a lot of poetry with any consistency since I was in college, and Lord knows that was a long time ago. But I decided, I had been writing kind of like song lyrics and poems off and on, and I decided to work on a poetry book. So this is my first one, and I thought tonight I would read several poems and kind of discuss what inspired me to write each one. So these are poems inspired by love, loss, illness, life, death, nightmares, dreams, and everything in between. This was a really cathartic process for me. Just processing years and years of experiences throughout life. Um, I didn't think it was going to be easy, but I thought I've got all of these emotions, bottled up inside of me, and they're just going to flow right out. Well, that didn't happen, but they got finished, and so I'm going to read some of them to you. Dedication for everyone who inspired a poem within me, the good and the bad, the beautiful and the ugly, for they're all parts of me. I'm going to read the title poem, An Emotional Girl. I came up with the first line years and years ago. I don't know if I had seen a sad news article or something, and basically I was telling myself I'm an emotional girl, just much too sensitive for this world. So it's kind of a poem about being a highly sensitive person in this world. I am an emotional girl, much too sensitive for this world. I tried to bury the part of me that felt too much, but it wouldn't stay buried. I tried to tie it up, but the strings wouldn't hold. I tried to drown it, but it wouldn't stay under. It rose to the surface, where it's here to stay. I can't help it. I was born this way. The next one I'm going to read is called Friends, in quotation marks. Sometimes you think that you know someone, and then you think they're going to be your best friend forever, and then they kind of do something to betray you. And they say that betrayal never comes from an enemy. It comes from a friend. So here we go. I was drowning, but you just watched, pouring more water over me. I was on fire, but you just watched, pouring more fuel over me. I was suffocating, but you just watched, snuffing out my air. I was thriving, and you came around, begging to be noticed. I was multiplying, but I picked up the scissors, cutting you out of my life. This one's called The Doll. This really has to do with someone in your life, like in a relationship, wanting to make you a certain way. They want you to act, dress, talk in a certain way, and just really want to control your behavior. I was your doll to make over how you liked. You taught me how to walk. You taught me how to talk. You taught me manners. You taught me modesty. You gave me a painted-on smile for all the world to see. You taught me how to model. You dressed me in designer clothes until I became just a showpiece and something to start to loathe. When you were done with me, you placed me in a box, tied a ribbon around it, and secured it with a lock. You turned out the lights, and I sat high on a shelf until you forgot about me, and I slowly became myself. This one's called Thug, and I kind of actually envisioned this to be a rap song, but I'm not going to rap it tonight. I'm just gonna recite it. Um, I knew this boy, born with the softest of hearts, but the world ripped him apart. And as the years went by, he grew a little bit wiser, a little bit bolder, a little more cynical, and a little bit colder. And under the cover of night, he was moving like a soldier in the trenches of life. He went down in a hail of fire. This poem is called Anxiety, and here I was just trying to illustrate in the simplest of terms what it's like to struggle with anxiety. Anxiety is like an unwanted house guest, always standing at the door, waiting to be invited inside or to slip in unnoticed. And once it gets in, it will never leave. You try to evict it, but it digs in harder and takes over every room in the house. This one is called Shapes. It's just about feeling like you really don't fit in to the world anywhere, that you're just very different. I'm like a square peg trying to fit into a round world where I don't belong. I tried to push, I tried to conform, I tried to change my shape, but I just stood out more. Until I accepted nature's fate that some square pegs aren't meant to fit into a round world. They're irregular and misshapen, rare and unique, the collector's edition for everyone to seek. This one I actually originally wrote in college, but I couldn't find the original, so I had to rewrite it. Um, this is called Jared McGuire. The gates swing open, and I rush to greet you. You're perched just atop a hill, with the road just in view. Your chalky pallor glows in the sun. It shines bright in the morning light, as the day has just begun. I lean against your sturdy frame, and you shield me from the wind. You're cold in your stony silence, and I don't know where to begin. Please don't be mad, don't look away. I had no choice but to kill you. The plot was better that way. Jared McGuire, beloved character, born chapter 59, died chapter 76. Only the Young. Um, this one's about a deceased loved one and myself. It was us against the world, hardened early on by death. We never talked about the future because maybe we didn't see much of one. We went through the motions. We never dreamed. We lived fast because we knew we were going to die young. Alone. This one, I guess, is just about one of my biggest fears, and that's being left alone in life, um, dying alone. I always worried that I would end up like Eleanor Rigby, all alone and never missed when I was gone. So I keep on a mask of a painted-on smile and sparkling eyes, eager to please everyone. This one's Desperate Love. This is just one of those loves that just starts out, really intense, but it's not going to stay. It's going to burn out. We loved hard and played harder because we knew the spark could never last. It burned up bright and it burned up fast. It lit up the night and left nothing but embers in its wake, under a blanket of stars that fell to the earth like lightning bugs spilled from a jar. This one's called Tea, and it's for a special someone. I want to wrap my arms around you, pull you close and hold you near, breathe in every inch of you. I want to be so entangled in your limbs that I don't know where I stop and you begin. When I'm in your arms, the whole world disappears around us, and we're the only ones left. Save me. Um, this is about me not, being so caught up in my own problems that I couldn't see that someone I loved was drowning and I couldn't save them. Throw me an anchor, let me try again. I couldn't see the water that was setting in. I was drowning in my pool of sorrows and couldn't see the tidal wave that was about to follow. I tried to tread water, I tried to stay afloat. but I was going under fast. Quick, throw me some rope. I couldn't save you because I couldn't save myself. The tow dragged you under to the bottom of life's sea. I'm sorry, that one's kind of emotional. Um, the blue dress. I originally wrote this in college, and I couldn't find the original, so I had to rewrite it. And it's kind of a kind of a scary poem about suicide, but it was an assignment in our class where we had to pick a famous poem and then pick a line in it, and we had to continue to repeat it. But I kind of changed it up when I rewrote it. The blue dress. She hangs from the rope in her cotton blue dress, gently swaying free of her distress. Her cheeks hollow and her skin sallow. There's no promise for a tomorrow. They gather in the church in their Sunday best, but then they forgot her like all the rest. Not all of these poems are autobiographical. Just sometimes I'll get a line that comes in my head that I think sounds cool, so I'll just run with it. So no need to worry. I'm okay. M. This is about an ex who left. Don't paint me in a bad light, you said, but you handed me the brushes and the canvas and the colors. I tried to repair bridges for you, but you let them burn. I tried to do damage control and save your reputation, but you soiled it more. I tried to protect you the moment you walked out the door. And this poem is called Justice and is for a special someone, but not in a good way. It's basically a letter to an abuser. Any man who lays a hand on his wife and child is a gutless coward, and I will drive for miles to exact my revenge. Better run, I'm coming for you. Justice will not be swift, nor will it be fast. This pain is gonna last. Better hide, I'm gonna find you. I'll give you a head start. Let's play hide and seek. Gonna bury you 6 feet deep. I don't know, maybe you should be a little worried about that one. I don't know. Just kidding. This one, I just thought this was kind of cute. Poems. Really short little thing. Poems are tiny stories told by fairies. Don't blink or you'll miss them. This one's called Consumption, and I can't remember what song I was listening to, who I was listening to. Maybe Andy Black. And one of the lines in the song just kind of sparked something in me. So this is about a relationship where a girl gives her all to this guy, and he gives her nothing. She's totally consumed. She cuts her heart like a valentine, folds it in half, and offers it to him. She serves up her flesh like a piece of cake, slices it off, and offers it to him. She sheds her skin like a molting snake, peels it off, and offers it to him. She summons her soul like a spirit in the wind, whips it about, and offers it to him. He was her everything. She was his nothing. He consumed her. She starved. Behind closed doors. This is about living with a chronic illness and trying to hide all of your pain, and you only show like the good side of you. People don't know what goes on behind the scenes or behind closed doors. This one I would really like to turn into a song. You don't see me when I'm down on my knees, sick as a dog, when I'm curled up in pain, crying out the Lord's name, when my head's spinning and my soul's sinning, and I just can't go on. I don't want to stay, but I don't want to leave, and I'm trying hard to believe that it's meant to be. You don't see me when I'm doubled over, wishing my life was over, when I'm in agony and I'm dealing in bargains and pleas, And then I put on a smile, feeling like I've walked for miles just to be with you. Let's see. This one's called China, and it's just about um, being broken, you know, uh, from the events of life. I've been broken so many times, you can see the lines and the cracks, like fine china with a past that never quite goes back together again to its original form. Hold me too tightly and I crumble. Hold me too loosely and I slip from your grasp. Better put me back on the shelf. This one's called The Darkness, and this was inspired by someone very special who told me that I could pretty much tell them anything, even my deepest, darkest thoughts. Save all your darkness for me, you said. Bring it and I will consume it, for no one else to see. Bring me your fears, bring me your tears, bring me your broken dreams. When everything looks as hopeless as it seems, I will be the one to shine a light on you. This one's called Death, and I wrote something years and years ago, sort of like this, and then my computer crashed, and I lost a bunch of poems and writing, so I kind of tried to rewrite it, but one of my favorite songs is Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, and I just love how they personify death, how they make it like death is a person. So, death came galloping on the wing of a star throughout the night from a land afar. He pounded at the window with such a fury, and she was so weak and weary. She couldn't resist his romantic allure, so she threw open the curtains and opened the door, took his hand and stepped onto the ledge, and faded away like pixie dust at the horizon's edge. I think I'm catching death, and this one, the original, I wrote in college as well. I think I'm catching death like one catches a cold. I must be catching death, for it's all around me, if truth be told. Murder, suicide, destruction, and debris. I think it's finally starting to get to me. I must be catching death. I think I've caught a chill. I must have caught death because I'm sure I'm ill. The next one is called Amy. Um, and this is just about when you've lost your spark, when you've lost your groove. You know, where did that fire and that spark go? Where have you gone? Did you lose your spark? You used to be like a firework that lit up the dark. Where have you gone? Did you lose your way? You never followed the path. You made your own way. Where have you gone? Did you lose your spirit? You used to be so feisty. You were always in it to win it. Where have you gone? Do you happen to know? Get your groove back, girl, and go with the flow. Little Girl Lost. This is also about being ill with a chronic illness. I feel like Peter Pan. Everyone has outgrown me and flown away. I'm stuck in the same life day after day, like a race car revving its engine at the starting line but going nowhere fast. Bouncing off the walls, running this treadmill that leads nowhere. The future hasn't held promise since long ago past. Time stands still in my heart and mind, but it's only an illusion as my body ages and reminds. Um, this one's called Our Song, and it's just about if you're with the right person, then really doesn't matter where you are. Every time I hear our song, I know everything's going to be okay. Even when the rain sets in and everything seems to go astray. As long as I have you by my side, I will always be down for the ride. I want to go on adventures and explore the world with you. Want to put my feet on the dashboard and sing along with the radio out of tune. Um, this one I should have known is about getting into a relationship with someone who has a pattern of leaving and just not a good pattern. And I told myself it's okay. This time will be different, but it wasn't. I should have known a tiger doesn't change its stripes, but I paid the price. 10 years too long? 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a charm? When will it stop? Because I should have known a leopard doesn't change its spots. Let's see. This one's Underestimate Me. This is kind of a feisty one. Go ahead, underestimate me. You think I'm weak and you're getting over one on me, but I saw you coming from a mile away. It was so plain to see. I've got your number and it's almost up. I'm not physically strong, but my psychological warfare will mess you up. I'll go for the proverbial jugular until you're curled into a ball. In a fetal position, you'll feel so small. So go ahead, underestimate me. Depression. That's pretty self-explanatory. I no longer find joy in what used to give me happiness. My eyes are dull and vacant. My words are slow and forced. My steps are stilted. I slip into the abyss and it swallows me up, then vomits me out to start the cycle over again. The Devil in Disguise. I started this one years and years ago, and I lost the original, and I'm not sure where I was going with it, so I kind of had to make it up from scratch a little bit. Hide your eyes behind your lies. Look what you've done to me. Temperature rising, your mood terrifying. Look what you've done to me. Sweet surprise, violent demise. Look what you've done to me. Dreams. Just a dream I had. Last night I dreamed I was beautiful, twirling around in a lovely dress, white tulle and white lace upon my chest, rosy red cheeks and hair upon my face, a halo of light bathing my skin, love's perfect whisper as a deep slumber sets in. This one is called The Mask, and it's about having a chronic illness and trying to hide your pain. It's all a guise as I put on a smile and start to beguile, like an illusion of smoke and mirrors. I'll be whatever you desire. It's a house of cards in a delicate balance. Careful now, it's about to fall. This one's called God, and just about really struggling with life's storms. On my hands and knees, I told you that I knew that you wouldn't bring me to the storm without bringing me through it, but I don't know how many storms I can weather. I want to be a beacon of hope, but I'm barely hanging on to the end of my rope. Nightmares. This one started out, I think, as song lyrics, and then I decided to turn it into a little chant that I was going to use, I'm still going to use in the sequel to my novel, The Devil's Swing. Why do I sleep with the lights on, you want to know? Well, climb in my head and enjoy the show. Keep your feet on the bed, keep your hands inside. Better buckle up now, it's going to be a bumpy ride. The monsters creep, the monsters crawl, gonna make you weak, gonna make you fall. The zombies shuffle, the demons rumble, the house is ablaze and it's starting to crumble. Don't run, don't scream, will you escape with your life? Relax, it's only a dream. Children of the Night. This is about homeless children. When I was in college, I did a report on runaways and throwaways, and I was just really saddened, by the statistics, and this was way, way back, so I'm sure they're much worse now, but I was struck by how many children and teenagers are buried in unmarked graves every year because they run away or they're thrown out of their house. their houses, and nobody knows who they are. So I've always had a soft spot for, especially teenagers, runaways. And Children of the Night is actually, not that I'm doing a plug necessarily, but it's um, an organization that helps homeless teenagers. We are the children of the night, our voices unheard, our souls tight. We walk alone on the streets with nowhere to call our own, and concrete beneath our feet. We traded in our toys and learned how to play on the savage streets of yesterday. Don't make eye contact, just walk on by. If they pretend we don't exist, they can't hear our cries. They can sleep a little better while we're sleeping with one eye open and our hearts weeping. My body is a cage, and this is about dealing with chronic pain and injuries and chronic illness. My body is a cage, and I'm all in a rage. I want to loosen the shackles. I want to unzip my skin, to shed it on the ground until the reality sets in. My mind tries to disassociate itself, but there's nowhere to go. The two are one, and the body knows. The mind goes where it goes. This one's called No More, and it's just about kind of setting boundaries for people who have really beat you down in life, who have bullied you. You made me doubt myself like a bullied child back in grade school, always the people pleaser, always chasing after others for their approval, always apologizing when I wasn't in the wrong. I was finally starting to come out of my shell for the first time in my life, but you made me crawl back in, always criticizing, always trying to change me and mold me like clay into what you wanted. I tried to set boundaries, but you erased them and drew new ones. You took pastel colors and tried to paint me in a different light. But things are different now, and I will no longer change to accommodate the vision of who you think I should be, because I'm finally going to be myself. I'm going to be me. Our story, and this is about someone special too. Our story began 34 years ago. I was 17 and you were 18, and you were the most beautiful boy I'd ever seen. I was drawn to your eyes like a pair of magnets that were hypnotic and haunted and full of secrets that you kept. You were edgy and dark and made intensity into an art. I was like a moth to a flame on the dangerous verge of getting burnt. The past. And this is about, every time a loved one tells me something painful about their past, I tell them that I wish I could go back and take that away from them. I wish I could go back in time and take your pain away, to change the events of yesterday, to take away the hurt and wipe your tears, to tell you everything's going to be all right and calm your fears, to keep you safe and free from harm, to give you shelter from the storm, to soothe your soul and tell you everything you want to know about the future. Let's see. This is called Old Soul, also about someone special, because I too feel I'm an old soul. But at 51, I don't know. I don't know if you can be considered an old soul anymore, but maybe. You're an old soul from another place and time, made by God's gentle hands and made to be mine. You're the gentlest of souls, the most compassionate of men, with a childlike innocence and a sheepish grin that draws me in. Let's see. And the last one, think. This is just about, really thinking for yourself and not listening to what others say. You've got to harden up and develop a thick skin, for to feel too much is the greatest of sins. Not too much color, just white or gray, for it might spark a revolution and give birth to a new day. Don't speak too loudly, just tiptoe around. Don't make waves and don't make a sound. Don't think too hard, ideas are free, you know. If you plant a seed, they may take root and start to grow. Just go along with the masses, but just remember they're nothing but asses, so don't follow the crowd. So, there are only just a few that I didn't read, but I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to put a link in the description from my website, and if you're interested in purchasing this or any of my other books, that will take you to all the links. I'm currently working on my second book of poetry called Ghost Girl, and I'm hoping to finish that soon, but you can't rush emotions and creativity, so we'll see. Thank you again for watching.